Okay, so I just got a notification that the new laptop is here and I'm super excited for it. So let's go run downstairs and grab it. I'm so excited for this. I've been waiting probably 2 or 3 weeks to get my new laptop, and this is my work laptop. However, I've been running on a Latitude 5430 for about a year and a half now, and it sucks. Don't buy one of those, but let's open this bad boy. Oh, here she is. Okay, so check this bad boy out. Woo! See if you can see that. Inside of the box just says Dell up here. And what we got here? Oh, it comes in its own little case inside of a case. Now, I'm assuming no power brick. That's interesting. I don't know why you'd have the pull tab there. No extra cables or anything. All right. Okay, so peel this. Is this a magnet or a sticker? Ooh, it's a sticker. Oh, check that out. Comes in a little case. She got some heft to it. All right, so first off, for the laptop, we got power cable to the power brick. If you've ever owned an XPS before, I actually have one of these already, but it's the adapter because the XPS is all USB-C. So you get this little adapter with one USB-A and one HDMI. It's convenient. It's obviously not very many ports, but it does what it needs to. Little CD booklet. Looks like what they used to put CDs into to install your BIOS. Telling you to download the My Dell app. Oh, and the power brick. They have seriously slimmed these bad boys down. It's still 130 watt like old Dell XPS's. However, this time the power brick is much smaller than before. And the cable's pretty dang long. So now I did opt for this to be in, I think, black. So it's oh, check that out. That is sweet. So zoom in here. Oh yeah, same as before, pretty much the rectangle shape. Nothing super crazy. On the back, they actually they switched up the cooling. So on the older XPSs, there used to be a grill here, and you can see I already have fingerprints on it. That's crazy. Looks like they opted to just put more fans in the back, which I think will help with cooling a lot on some surfaces, like squishier surfaces. We got 2 USB ports on one side, another, and a headphone jack. Plus, I think that's a micro SD card. USB-Cs. I don't know if it matters that much. You can tell. Give her a open. Oh, and check that out. All right, so here she is. Now this looks freaking sweet. Feel the protective. I guess it's not that crazy because it's only stuck in 4 spots, but cool. So the new XPSs, actually, if you can see here, comes with Windows Hello fingerprint, and then the old ones do too. And it also comes with actual facial recognition. Now, this is pretty cool. The function keys and at the top are actually touch, I think. yeah, check that out. It's pretty sick. The power button is actually right here, and you can see that these are flickering. Yeah, so power button's right here, fingerprint sensor. This is actually really cool. The trackpad and just the whole space is all one piece. Speaker's still on the side. They actually opted to not go with the carbon deck lid anymore. I will do a comparison and show the carbon fiber one on my XPS 15 from 2020, but honestly, it looks pretty good. The keyboard is all flat, which might take some getting used to, but yeah, it's super sweet. I'm really excited to dig into this bad boy. All right, so let's talk about some quick tech specs. So this XPS model is kitted out with the Intel Ultra i7 155H. It has 24 megabytes of cache, 16 cores, and boosts up to 4.8 gigahertz. Because this is the new Ultra lineup of chips, it does support the new AI features that Intel is coming out with. It's supposed to help optimize the system and work better. So if you need performance, it's supposed to give you better performance, or battery life, it's supposed to give you better battery life. Speaking of battery life, this thing has a 99.5 watt battery, so it's pretty big. It's almost double my old laptop battery, and I can't wait to have this thing last me more than 2 hours before dying. I'm really excited for that. Now, in terms of other hardware specs, this comes with an RTX 4050. You can option just integrated graphics or even go higher than a 4050, but this one has a 4050 with 6 gigs of VRAM, which is plenty for what I'm gonna be doing. It has enough to do a little bit of machine learning. If for some reason I'm doing any machine learning, I can do it just fine. It has 32 gigs of DDR5, I think like 6400 speed, which is freaking crazy in a laptop. That's awesome. Way better than the DDR4 in my old laptop or even in my desktop. This has the fastest RAM out of all of it. Now that's pretty much all of the hardware specs. It has 512 in terms of SSD. You can option as low as 256 and go as high, I believe, as 4 terabytes. So you can get a ton of storage in this laptop if you need it. I think 512 to a terabyte's plenty for what I'm doing, so I don't need any higher or any lower. In terms of features on this laptop, it has 3 Thunderbolt ports. These are all 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports for USB-C, obviously. It has 1 headphone jack, and then what seems to be, I think a micro SD. I think I'm wrong there, but yeah, all 3 of these ports are Thunderbolt 4, and they all charge the laptop. It's one of my favorite things about the XPS lineup is that all of the USB-C ports can charge it, so you can charge from the left or from the right, which is really nice. You don't have to have a cord reaching around. It's super convenient. In terms of the actual screen, the screen is a 1920 by 200. So it's actually bigger than a normal 1920 by 1080. It's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio as opposed to a normal 16 by 9. And it's not a huge difference, but it's enough. I love the 16 by 10 aspect ratio. The extra screen real estate is super convenient to have, and it makes the bezels look so much slimmer because you don't have a big bar on the bottom because your screen takes it up. So it's more usable space and less wasted space. The screen is a max of 500 nits on the 1080p version and 400 nits on the OLED 4K. So it's not the brightest screen in the world, but it's plenty for anything that I'm going to be doing. Even if you're doing schoolwork, it's just fine. Now, the 1080 display is, I guess it would be the 1200 display. It comes with the anti-reflective coating. Both displays actually come with it. It gives the screen a really nice matte finish to it. And speaking from experience, I love the matte screen. The anti-reflective coating in the daylight and normal lighting, it works super well. I love it. I hope that it works just as good on the new models as it does on the old models because it's so convenient, and not having a glass screen is the best thing in the world because I don't get distracted by lights and everything else. On top of that, we have the speakers on this XPS. So they opted to do the speakers on the side of the keyboard like they've done in most XPS generations. They sound pretty dang good. They get pretty loud and also quiet, obviously. They sound good. They're nothing crazy, but for laptop speakers, I think they're well worth it.
Luke here with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel. I'm here in the jungles of Okinawa with the U.S. Marine Corps. For the next 6 days, I'm going to be attending the Jungle Warfare Training Center. I'm not allowed to bring a tent, spare clothes, or food. We're going to be living off poisonous vipers, eating.
The keyboard is my only complaint on this laptop. The flush design is cool in theory, but it just doesn't type well. I don't like the feeling of the keys. I don't like the size of the keys. I wish the keys were actually a little bit smaller, but that's just my opinion. I really love the touch bar for function settings. It's super cool and it is nice. It gives the laptop a bit more premium feel. Same for the touch bar. Having the touch bar be one piece of glass that is just used in a certain area is super awesome. It looks really good, it feels really good, and in terms of looking really good, this model is the graphite model, so it looks dark gray, almost black, but not black. It is, however, a fingerprint magnet. Now, you can probably see from me spinning around, there are a ton of fingerprints on this, and that is just from filming this video. It attracts fingerprints like crazy. If you don't like fingerprints or don't like seeing them, probably go with the platinum option. It's gonna probably hide your fingerprints a little bit, or you might just have to deal with it. Now, I think that's because this entire computer is a CNC machined aluminum chassis, so a little bit of weight saving there. It does, however, still attract fingerprints. In terms of weight, this is a starting 4.7 pounds, so it's not light by any means, but it's not heavy. I'm assuming that weight would go up depending on the options you put in this, but 4.7 pounds, I mean, it's hefty, you know it's there, but for a 16.3-inch screen, it is fine. My old XPS is a 15-inch, and I don't know, I don't feel the weight difference. I like it. So overall, I am really excited for this laptop. I'm excited to put it through the tests and give it some work and see how it handles it compared to my old Latitude, and mostly just see how the new XPSs are holding up. I really loved my old XPS lineup, and given the opportunity to choose an XPS as my new work laptop, I'm super excited for it because I know how good the XPS lineup is. So yeah, really excited to see how it goes.